If you're going to the Equip Expo, let me give you my advice on what to do to make the most of your time in this video. Let's get started right now. Today's video is sponsored by Yardbook. If you're in the lawn care business and you are considering a new software, why don't you give Yardbook a try? Go to yardbook.com for a free account. I've been using Yardbook since 2015. All right, quick story. The first time I went to what was then the GIE Plus Expo, I've told this story before, but I actually won an $8,500 prize. So what did I win? I won a Permagreen ride-on spreader sprayer, and I actually watched the video the other day. Because what happened was I went and it was a Dow, which is a big chemical company. Dow was doing a giveaway, I guess in partnership with Permagreen, and I think they also gave away a Z-spray. And I go put my name in there, and you had to have your license, your ornamental turf license, you know, license to be able to spray herbicides on people's lawn. So I had my license, I go put my name in there, and I was getting ready to leave. This is, again, my first time at the trade show. I think it was Friday about lunchtime, and I was getting ready to leave. I had about a 6-hour drive back, and at that time, back then, you had to pay for parking. It was like $8 to park or something. Well, my hotel was pretty close to the event space, so I didn't pay for parking. I just walked from the hotel. I think it was almost a mile. So I'm walking back to my hotel to get in my car and drive 6 hours back home, and I have a voicemail on my phone. My phone actually died, so I plug it in, check my voicemail, and there's a person on there saying, "Jason, if you're still at the event, we have drawn your name and you are the winner of the Permagreen." And so I won an $8,500 ride-on spreader sprayer. That was awesome. The funny thing about it is I went back and watched the video. I was actually not the first name drawn. They drew somebody else's name, but you have to have your license. The first person I don't think was licensed. And so they drew a backup name. They drew Jason Creel, Alabama Lawn Pros. Sure enough, I get the call. I run back in there. Actually, I drove over there. I paid the $8 to park, and I walked in. They got my picture made. They ended up coming to my home and doing some videos about it, and went in and wrote up magazine articles and all that. So if you actually do a Google search, Jason Creel wins a Permagreen at the GIE Plus Expo or something, there's some articles that'll pop up for that. All right, so that was a long story, but I wanted to just let you know there are some really cool prizes. I think the next year I won a Yeti cooler, and that's not for me being on YouTube, that's just putting your name in a hat. So there's a lot of cool giveaways. Those are the best two things I've won. One of the great things about going to what's now called the Equip Expo is the outdoor demo area, and I really want to take advantage of this year. I can't remember if it's 16 acres or 19 acres, something like that, but a really, really large area that different companies have a designated space where you can demo their equipment. I mean, lots of equipment. So if you want to check out new equipment, this is the place to do it, because I mean, yeah, you might go to your dealer and they might have 2 or 3 different brands, but where are you going to go that they're going to have this many brands? I really don't know that there's an option for it. And people don't realize, I think, this is actually the 6th largest trade show in the country. I think there's around 25,000 people last time. I think they're expecting more this year. So it is gigantic if you've never been. Also, I would recommend when you come inside the trade show to sort of make a plan. You might have the hardscape section over one place, and all the mower companies seems like they're sort of have central location in the middle, but make a plan where you're not walking back and forth through the same aisles over and over and over again. There's some aisles that you may just not have anything of interest, but I would really recommend downloading the app, because that's going to help you navigate and know if you have a specific booth that you want to find. You can look up their booth number on the app and find it without just wasting time walking, because it can be a lot of walking and it can be tiring. Another thing to take advantage of if you really want to try to use your time well is getting there early in the morning when it opens, or perhaps staying a little bit later in the day when it's not so crowded and you might not have as difficult a time being able to speak to a rep about a particular machine that you're interested in. Some of the things I'm going to be doing, I'd love to meet you if I get that opportunity, but on Thursday I'm going to be at the Spiker Spreaders booth, and I am going to be drawing. They give away push spreaders seem like every year, and I'm drawing Thursday at 1 o'clock. So go by the Spiker booth at some point, put your name in there, and I think they'll get in touch with you. You don't have to be present right there when I draw your name, but you need to at least go by there and put your name in there for the drawing. I'm also planning on Thursday to be at the Exmark booth Thursday at 10:30. I'm gonna be with a guy named Jeremy Connect, and he has a big lawn care operation up in Illinois. You guys give him a follow. But we're gonna be handing out these t-shirts. Let me see if I can, how many hands I got here. I'm gonna use my mouth. All right, y'all can think whatever you want with me having to use my mouth. I'm holding the camera at the moment. So what it says is Z-Turf Equipment. That's the company that Exmark's brand that comes out with the Z sprays and all that. And it says on there, Turf Wars 1. Not one as O-N-E, but one W-O-N. They sound the same coming out of my mouth. But a really cool t-shirt, and we are gonna be giving these out. They're limited supplies, but if you'll come by at 10:30 on Thursday to the Exmark booth, I would love to put one of these shirts in your hand and be able to meet you as well. One of the other cool things I got to participate in last year was they have, I forget the name of it to be honest with you, but they have a podcasting event. It's Influencer Live, I think is what it's called. And so what they do is they have 3 of my friends that each have a green industry podcast that basically do their podcast live on the stage. And last year I think it was done on Friday morning, but this year it's done on Thursday, and I think they have a bigger room. It's sponsored, there's free breakfast, things like that. And I'll try to put the links to some of these events in the description below to help you find them. But it's Paul Jamison of the Green Industry Podcast. He's gonna be doing his podcast live. And again, he's just interviewing people. You can watch it, you can interact with the audience, you can ask questions, things like that. It's also Naylor Taliaferro is doing his podcast, and also Caleb Allman. So those 3 will have guests and interviewing people. Last year I got to be on there with Paul, and he interviewed me and my friend Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. We had a great time, and it was a great turnout for that. So I'd encourage you to make plans for that on Thursday morning. And then Thursday night is something that I try to attend each and every year, and that's the YouTube rally. It's also sponsored by a lot of companies. There's free food, I think, for the first 600 people. There's t-shirts. Really cool place. It's an off-campus event at a restaurant. Again, put the link below, or you can search for YouTube Rally 2022 at the Equip Expo. It is helpful if you can register for that. Again, it's a free event. Lots of sponsor, hundreds and hundreds of people, but a really cool time. A lot of the influencers like to go to that and just hang out and have a good time. So think about it as if you were going to like a theme park, amusement park, Disney World, somewhere like that. You want to go ride the best rides when they're not as crowded, okay? So I think the strategy is make a plan and say, you know what, I'm going to get there. Maybe I'm gonna have to deal with a little bit of cold weather, but I might go outside before it gets crowded outside, or I might stay late and walk around inside in a certain period of time when it's not as crowded. Because you know, if it gets really nice during the day, it's 60 degrees and sunny, then the outdoor space is probably going to be crowded. So I don't know, I might get out there when it's 45 degrees at 9 o'clock in the morning or so, and to not have to deal with the crowds. It's just my strategy on it, but you do what you want as far as that goes. Definitely download the app, definitely try to attend some of those other events that I mentioned, and I certainly hope you'll come see me at the Spiker booth or the Exmark booth. I would love to hear from you in the comments if it is your first time attending, or if you have some tips. Maybe you're a veteran of the show, you have some tips that you want to leave for those that are coming for the first time. If you hadn't registered, I guess you can still register before. I'm not sure exactly when that ends. You can buy a ticket at the door, you're gonna pay more for it. But if there's still time to register online, you can use my discount code LawnCareLife. That's all one word, LawnCareLife, and you'll save 50% off if that's still eligible. I'm doing something new this year. I'm staying with a friend of mine, and we're staying in a big RV in the parking lot. So that should be an interesting experience as well. Personally, I'm driving up Wednesday morning early and hope to go to the show Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have a good trade show. Hope to get to meet a lot of you in person, and we'll see you in the next video.